Before we begin, if you like what you hear on the Tan and J-Man Show, don't forget to rate and review us on Apple Podcasts, and go ahead and click subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. We encourage you to interact with us and keep up to date with the Tan and J-Man Show on social media by liking our Facebook page and following us on Twitter and Instagram at Tan and J-Man Show. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy another episode of the Tan and J-Man Show with your hosts Tanner Lee and Josh the J-Man Munt. For the 191st time, I'm Tanner Lee, along with Josh the J-Man Munt. You're watching on the IC Sports Network or listening on any of the multiple platforms, podcast platforms that we're on. The Tan and J-Man Show Sports Podcast. Another week, another episode. What is going on, J-Man?
What up? How you doing?
Another day, another dollar.
Doing all right?
Doing all right.
Pretty good.
What do we got on the docket for tonight, J-Man?
I have no idea.
You have no idea.
We'll find out here shortly.
We just gotta
Wing it this week.
gonna wing it.
It's gonna be a wing it week.
Wing it week, huh?
Mm-hmm.
All right, whatever that means. So, well, this episode, like it is every week, as our loyal listeners and viewers, the Tan and J-Man Show Nation should know by now, is sponsored by The Damn Landing. Whether you want an epic burger, hand-tossed pizza, hand-breaded tenderloin, seafood, craft beer, or handcrafted cocktail, The Damn Landing is the place to be. The Damn Landing is a bar and grill located on beautiful Lake Manitou that focuses on freshness and quality. And, of course, you got the damn smoke. So you got ribs, you got steaks, you got pulled pork. What else could you want?
Get your meats.
What else could you want? You can also wash it down with one of their 16 beers on tap, including a constant rotation of today's best microbrews and domestic flavors, or a handcrafted cocktail made using fresh ingredients. Taking them fantastic views of Lake Manitou in their beer garden or outdoor bar area. Beautiful this time of year. So whether it be by boat or by wheels, the Damn Landing is the place to be, located at 1305 Ewing Road in Rochester. You can contact them on the telephone by 574-223-8950.
That's good stuff.
It was fun.
Good stuff. So last week, in our On This Day segment, in 1956, Ford Frick, then the baseball's commissioner, implemented the Cy Young Award for the first time. So, my question this week, Jacob deGrom has won 2 Cy Young Awards in a row.
Yes.
Only 2 pitchers in Major League Baseball history have won 3 consecutive Cy Young Awards. Who are they?
This is not getting well.
I think you have a decent shot at it this week. I might be putting too much.
You're putting too much faith and confidence in me, but I appreciate it, J-Man.
I feel pretty good about your chances, though. But Birdie Bogey, as it is every week, is brought to you by the Noble Gnome LLC. Fresh, locally grown, nutrient-dense produce from Bryce and Katie Romine of Mentone, Indiana. Like them on Facebook. Follow them on Insta. Check out their website, Noble Gnome LLC. I did not see or watch the video they put on their Facebook page.
Think you're cool now, saying Insta? You hip? You like the cool kids?
I feel like a fellow youth.
All the cool cats and kittens out there?
Yes. You know, that did... It might have actually made top of my head get some hair. I felt myself getting younger when I said it. Maybe that was the antidote for...
Have you talked to Brian Urlacher lately?
Male pattern baldness.
You talked to Brian Urlacher?
I could talk to him.
Some of those hair plugs.
Ryan Sandberg as well. He was kind of the first guy that did that same one.
But anyways, you were in the middle of reading. I apologize.
But anyway,
circle the wagons.
They had frisee lettuce heads, Swiss chard, kale, cabbage, cucumbers, kohlrabi, turnips, beets, basil, cilantro, zucchini, and summer squash at the Kosciuszko County Farmers Market on Saturday. Get your veggies.
He's back with the shuffle, people. He's back.
Yes, sir.
He is back. You ready to get edumacated?
I don't know if that's even possible. I think I'm at my peak knowledge. 28 years old. I don't think I have anything left in the brain. It's just...
Boy, oh boy, that's a scary thought.
Give it to me, though.
All right. On this day, on July 13th, in the history of sports, we've had a few things happen. Starting with, on this day in 1934, a guy by the name of Babe Ruth hit his 700th career home run against Detroit.
I saw this on Twitter today. There was not one person, or the second closest player at that time to 700 homers had 350.
Wow.
And Babe Ruth had 700.
Legend. Wait for it. Derry.
Okay, Barney Stinson.
Yes. I am Barney Stinson.
Barney Stinson's a lot cooler than you.
Could have just let me have my moment.
So's Neil Patrick Harris.
You could have let me have my moment.
Never.
On this day, 1962, the British Open was held at Royal Troon, who won his second consecutive Open championship.
1962, Arnold Palmer.
Good guess, and you're correct. The man's got a heck of a drink.
I don't like tea.
You don't even like Arnold Palmer? It's more lemonade tasting
I
than
love
tea.
lemonade. Hate tea. Can't do it. Tried it. Hate it.
You're not a coffee guy either, are you?
Hate coffee.
Well, I don't like coffee either.
Sorry to all the people out there who
I'm
like
a big
coffee.
tea drinker.
I'm a big beer guy.
I can respect that. On this day, 1963, future Baseball Hall of Fame pitcher Early Wynn won his 300th and last MLB game at the age of 43.
Yes.
Yes, he says. On this day in 1968, the British Open was held. Of course, this is usually British Open week, or it has been in the past. It was at Carnoustie, who won his second of 3 Open titles.
Only 3, yeah.
Hall of Famer. Still alive.
Go with Jack.
He beat Jack.
Gary Player.
Gary Player. He won by 2 strokes over Bob Charles and Jack Nicklaus.
I think the last time you had on this day, I guess Gary Player for every single one back then, and of course the time I don't, I get it wrong.
The Black Knight. What else do we have here? On this day, 1972, the L.A. Rams, Irsay, and Baltimore Colts, Rosenblum, swap owners. I did not know that happened.
I didn't either. That's an interesting one. What was Irsay's dad's name? Was it Jim?
Wasn't it Bob?
It was Bob.
Robert Irsay?
Pretty sure it's Bob.
Robert.
Hey there, Bob.
On this day in 1979, California's Nolan Ryan and Boston's Steve Rinko each lost no hitters in the 9th inning.
That's rough.
Could you imagine being at that ball game?
That's rough. That'd be a fun one to be at, although no history was made because they both lost them.
On this day in 1985, the New York Yankees retired Roger Maris's number 9 and Elston Howard's number 32.
Oh, Elston.
The Yankees are going to run out of numbers here soon.
How many numbers do they have retired?
Quite a few. That's a good... I should know that off the top of my head. I don't. There's a lot. A lot. They don't have a single-digit number that's not retired.
21 numbers.
And all the single digits are taken.
So that leaves 78 numbers left.
But on their pace, man, it's going to be a day. They're going to have to go triple digits.
I want to see if there's any that just didn't deserve to be retired at all. Billy Martin's probably didn't need to be retired. Babe Ruth, sure. Lou Gehrig, sure. Joe DiMaggio, sure. Derek Jeter, sure. Joe Torre, Mickey Mantle, Yogi Berra. Never heard of Bill Dickey. Roger Maris. Roger Maris wasn't that great. He just had that record. Phil Rizzuto. Thurman Munson. Maybe because he died. Whitey Ford was good. The Jorge Posada's number had no business being retired.
Core 4, man, they all got retired.
He's a solid player. Don Mattingly wasn't good enough to have his number retired.
The club can do whatever they want.
Mo Rivera, sure. Reggie Jackson, sure. Andy Pettit, probably not.
Yeah, the Core 4.
Ron Guidry, probably not.
Bernie.
He had a great year. Bernie, probably not. A lot of numbers retired of players that weren't Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
They could have like 9 numbers retired and be perfectly,
I bet CeCe's number gets retired.
That'd be a sham.
I bet it does, though. Just
That's
watch.
so stupid.
Just watch. You get mad about the dumbest things.
Can't have beards when you play for the Yankees. Can't have any fun. Can't.
Well, they don't win, so there's not a lot of fun to be had.
Can't have a number you want just because some player that played for the Yankees for a decade.
If I got paid that much to play there, I wouldn't complain. I'd do what they say.
The beard thing is the most idiotic thing.
I'm really surprised that hadn't changed since 2 to 3 Steinbrenners
all about business
have passed away. So.
Sorry.
Let's see. On this day in 1994, former NFL running back, broadcaster, and actor O.J. the Juice Simpson gives hair samples for testing because he was charged with murder.
The glove did not fit.
Spoiler alert. Oh, man. A lot of all-star baseball game things.
Give me some MVPs, man. I want to guess these.
Most of them haven't even gave me MVPs on here. They just tell me who won. That's not fun.
That isn't fun.
I mean, none of these are giving me MVPs. This is an awful on this day.
The National League didn't win one for a long time.
No.
I remember. I forget which team was the first one that actually won in like 18 tries.
Let's go do it for Longest Day. It is not a...
That was pathetic.
Yeah, it was not a good list.
We really needed a lot more, too.
Don't say that.
I'll say that.
But the On This Day is brought to you by Proforma Print House. If you're looking for a trustworthy, dependable resource for your next trade show, company picnic, or sales meeting, Proforma Print House has over 50 years combined experience in promotional products and commercial print. They strive for fast and efficient response to all your print needs. You need to look no further. Let them be your one-source print and promotional company today. Contact them at phone number 574-210-3815.
Look in the sky tonight when it gets dark.
Why?
You know why?
Nope. That's why I said why.
Jupiter reaches its peak brightness tonight in the southeastern sky.
Largest planet, right?
I think so.
Pretty sure about that.
It will outshine every single star.
What time?
When it gets dark.
So about 3.5 hours.
Yeah. I would say about 10:15 or so. You can go out, look up, see if you can see Jupiter. You probably won't be able to tell which one's it, but it will be the brightest star out there. Is it supposed to be cloudy tonight?
Dude, you're asking the wrong person.
I did take an intro to meteorology course, but
oh boy, here we go.
Unfortunately, I can't tell by the barometric pressure when I stepped outside. So I just, that's just one of them things that sometimes it's unpredictable, and this seasoned meteorologist I can't figure out if it's going to be cloudy tonight or I think it's pretty sunny out right now.
Would you shut up? God, you're like Michael Scott more every week. You're just taking a sentence. You don't know where it's going. You hope to find it along the way.
Find it along the way.
Man, that was going to go on for a classic tangent there if I didn't get you back on track.
I'd probably still be going, to be honest.
You ready to get into the show?
Got stuck.
You ready to dive into the show?
Sure.
Big cannonball, big splash.
Big fan of cannonballs.
Well,
I can do a good one too.
I've seen it. It's impressive. Makes the water go out of the pool.
It's like Moses parting the Red Sea.
It is something, folks.
Is he the one that parted the Red Sea?
Yes.
Okay.
Whether you're a seasoned member of the Tan and J-Man Show Nation, or if this is your first time watching or listening, hopefully you don't change the channel or pause us. But our motto is hot takes, topics, picks, and more. But we focus on the Big Ten, the NFL, and the MLB usually, among other things. But those are our three big things. Big Ten kind of was in the spotlight this past week. What happened, J-Man?
They are playing a conference-only football season for all fall sports.
All fall sports. Cross country, volleyball, golf.
Really, this mainly
football
was talked about just because of the football.
Well, the football is the moneymaker.
It is the moneymaker.
Across all college sports, if they have
I don't really understand it because as far as just for Illinois anyway.
Illinois was one of two teams in the conference. I'd say this hurts.
It hurts really bad because they had a really easy non-conference schedule. But
who'd they play?
They played Illinois State.
When?
Which is 50 miles from University of Illinois campus.
Yeah.
Yet they'll go play Rutgers, which is farther away.
Yeah.
They also had UConn, arguably the worst team in Division I.
Yes.
Maybe not worst team.
They're up there, though.
I mean, the AAC kicked them out.
Yeah.
And they played Bowling Green, so that really hurts them. Hurts Indiana. I'm not 100% sure who they played.
I'll look it up. I know they played.
They usually have a really easy schedule.
Yeah. Oh, they did. They did. I'll look it up.
But it kills the really small schools. I know Bowling Green was supposed to play Illinois and I believe Ohio State. They're losing out on $10 million just for those
Indiana was supposed to play Eastern Illinois, UConn, and I got to find the other one here.
They opened up. That's the conference only.
Awesome.
Oh,
they
got rid of them.
And somebody else.
But still, Eastern Illinois, UConn, that's just like playing Illinois State, UConn.
I want to say the other one might have been Ball State. I'm not 100% sure there.
That's just like playing Bowling Green.
Didn't we just talk that Ball State lost 2 Big Ten opponents they were supposed to play?
Did they lose 2? Because Bowling Green loses 2.
That was Michigan and Indiana.
Could have been.
And Bowling Green was Illinois and somebody. Ohio State, maybe? Michigan?
I think it was Ohio State. It's crushing, absolutely crushing for schools like that.
The MAC schools.
Yes.
I don't know.
Really all of the non-power. It's crushing for the power.
I was going to
schools
say,
as well. But these smaller schools are going knowing they're going to get just romped at a Wisconsin or Ohio State, but their athletic department doesn't care because they're going to make $500,000 to $1 million.
Yep.
And it just kills those athletic departments. I know Southern Illinois was supposed to play at Wisconsin. They're going to lose $500,000 for that game. How much did you say Purdue was projected to lose?
If there's no fall sports, they think between $50 and $60 million.
If there's none at all?
If there's no fall sports at all.
It seems like they'd lose more if there were fall sports. Just because if you're not having any fans at all, you're...
Still get TV rights. TV money. That's big. Big Ten Network.
That's huge. Where all the money is. That's where, as far as the NCAA...
That's why we're having this conversation. If it wasn't about money, they probably would have canceled everything already.
Sure. This is going back a ways, but the NCAA's March Madness NCAA tournament TV rights are like 80% of their revenue. It's like $800 million of their $1.2 billion annual revenue. So it's just absolutely crushing. And I don't know how some of these schools are going to be able to survive. Of course, I'm going to let the people that are far smarter than me try to figure it out. And I don't – have they said what the plan is? Are they going to add a conference game to make it an even 10?
I haven't heard that yet, but I would think they will have to do that.
Yes. And just I assume most what if all conferences follow suit?
If all conferences follow suit, the independents like Notre Dame, Navy, they will get picked up by conferences for 1 year.
Sure.
The ACC already said they would help out Notre Dame. I don't know what.
I kind of wish they wouldn't, but they have a partnership with basketball.
Yes.
So you kind of have to.
I think all their sports except football, and that's because NBC.
I wish ACC would say.
Which think about if Notre Dame doesn't have a season, NBC money.
We'll help you out, but you can't have your games on NBC.
Yeah.
I forget where I was going with that. I have no idea.
It's just not a good situation overall. I heard one guy talking today. He could see them, instead of adding another game right now and coming out with, here's your 10 games you play and win, because some of the Big Ten opponents opened up with each other to start the season. Like Purdue, Nebraska is supposed to play the first week of September. So now you're telling me, are they going to play that day and then have no games for 3 weeks and then play? I think why this was made was to push the season, give them a little more breathing room, and start everything in October.
Which I could definitely see that happening. If they were to add another conference game, though, would it just be win 5 and you're in a bowl?
Probably. Looking at Purdue's Big Ten schedule, I'd say 5-5 would be a pretty good year for them.
Yeah. I think it was DraftKings came out with their over-under for Big Ten win totals, and I think both Purdue and Illinois were at 3.5. I think Rutgers was at 0.5.
Well, they haven't won a conference game in over 2 years.
They might not win a game.
Well, in this actually, by eliminating the non-conference games, it helps a team like Purdue, who is going to host Memphis, coming off a power,
really
one
good
of the
Memphis team.
Big Bulls, Air Force team that was solid last year.
Yeah.
Then you're traveling to a Boston College team that has had good teams in the past. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't know what happens with some of these games. Boston College was a return trip to Boston College to finish that one-on-one series. Got to think that'll be rescheduled sometime in the future if they can. These other two, Memphis and Air Force, they were one-offs. I don't know if those get rescheduled, because the problem is, you look at Purdue's future schedules, they're kind of filled in for quite a while.
Yeah, I don't know how you can work that out.
Next year, they got Oregon State at Notre Dame and at UConn next year already on the books.
UConn stinks.
Which I'm looking forward to that, because I actually want to go to that game. I got a buddy out in UConn, so I'm hoping to do that. But, Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be fascinating. I was listening to a Purdue podcast today, and this guy thinks what he could see happening was they come out with 3 games at a time. Purdue, here's your first 3 games. We'll reevaluate the situation after those 3 games. If it looks good, then here are your rest. Or what is something kind of like that. He doesn't think we'll see the whole 10-game schedule right away laid out with dates.
That would be pointless.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to worry about fans getting tickets and getting hotel rooms and all that.
Yeah.
So that would make sense, and I bet we do see them start in October.
Because do you think this is a last-ditch effort by the conferences, or is this more of a move to they're confident they can have a season as long as they push it back a little bit?
I think the second one.
I do too. I don't think it's a last-ditch effort yet.
Not yet. I mean, there's still so much time.
That would be cutting it down to like 5 games.
That'd be pointless. You might as well just cancel it.
Or moving it to the spring.
Or moving to, which they could do that.
But then you get the NFL.
And you'll have I'm sure you'll have some players opting out anyway, even if they play in the fall.
I think you would have, of course, more opt-out if you moved it to the spring.
If you moved it to the spring, especially with the NFL draft right there.
But what happens if you move it to spring and the NFL doesn't have a season? They can't have just an NFL draft, can they?
Unless they just go with the
same order?
Same order, or do like a lottery type deal.
Yeah.
I assume they just go same order.
Okay, what if we don't have a football season at all? The kids come back next year in the same year, right, of eligibility?
It'd have to be. And
just like the spring sports this past year can come back if they want?
Yes. It'd have to be. And I saw...
Man, what a nightmare.
Yes, if players were to opt out, because they're going to give them the option, they will still be able... They will keep their same eligibility as well, because you can't force kids to play, of course.
No, absolutely not.
I have the over-under for each team in the Big Ten, and this is just accounting for the 9-game season.
Yes.
Which it would be now. Ohio State, can you guess their over-under?
10 games?
9 games.
9 games. Oh, yeah, 9 games. Go with 8.
8 is correct. Penn State.
7.
7.5. Oh. Wisconsin.
7.
7.5. Oh, man. Michigan.
6.5.
5.5.
Ooh.
Yeah, we're
khaki pants.
These are pretty low, I think. Indiana.
4.5.
4.5. Iowa.
5.
4.5. Minnesota.
6.
4.5.
What?
Northwestern.
3.
4.5. Illinois and Purdue, as I said, 3.5.
I already forgot those, so you could have quizzed me.
No. Nebraska.
4.5.
3.5.
Good.
Maryland.
2.5.
2.5. Michigan State.
2.5.
2.5. Rutgers.
1.5.
1. This is from SBD Sports Betting Dime. It says your best source for sportsbook reviews, news. No free ads, though.
No.
I'm not going to go through their whole spiel. They didn't ask me to do that. So. Who's taking that Rutgers over, though?
What?
Who's taking the Rutgers over of 1?
Greg Schiano's family.
That's about it. Not me. I mean, I assume they'd have the same kind of Big Ten schedule. I'm going to go look up, or you can look up the Big Ten schedules. I just want to see Rutgers. To be
okay.
honest.
I was looking something else up. I can do that.
Of course, they play in the East where they have to play Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State. Those are the big 3. And Michigan State should.
It might be able to beat Maryland, depending on where it's at.
Depending on where it's at, and I think it helps them a little bit that they have a new coach because they won't really know much about Schiano's team. However, Rutgers doesn't have much talent.
Yeah, they lost one automatic win. The other 2 weren't automatics, though.
Is Monmouth an automatic win?
I would think so. I know nothing about
so.
them. But they lost a home game against Syracuse and a away game at Temple.
They lose both of those.
But their Big Ten schedules at Ohio State, at home against Illinois, at Purdue, at home against Indiana, at home against Nebraska, at Maryland, at home against Michigan, at Michigan State, at home against Penn State.
I'd give them 1. Illinois.
Yeah.
Maybe Indiana
maybe,
too.
Yeah.
But it's not like Rutgers.
I don't see them winning a road game.
Great crowd anyway.
I don't think Michigan State will be very good, but I don't see them
This will
winning
be the year where we really see
Who's well coached?
Who's the best team? Because
Oh, yeah.
with no crowd, you'll really be able to see.
Yep.
It'll be extremely tough for upsets to happen.
CBS Sports came out. I always enjoy going through this. They do their pressure or hot seat rankings, 1 through 5 for every single coach. It's always fun to see. Give me a coach. I'll look him up.
Lovie Smith, and let me guess too. So would 1 be hot, or 5 would be
5.
hot? Lovie, I'll go 3.
It does say 3. He was 5 last year.
Yes, he helped himself a little bit. And with this year, you can't really evaluate coaches, and coaches should get a free pass.
Every coach should. But do you see USC giving Clay Helton a pass if he does bad this year? Which they should, because he's good.
They should, but probably not, unfortunately.
I got to find somebody in the 5 here. Clay Helton is probably 5.
Number 5. Any 5s in the Big Ten? I wouldn't say there's a 1. I don't know if I can't imagine Scott Frost would be a 5.
Scott Frost is a 5.
Is he really? Wow.
That'll upset the Cornhusker fans. He does. What did I see? He would have to win 8 games or maybe 7 to have the same record as their former coach through 3 years. Not Pelini, but Anderson. Was his name Anderson? No, he was the one who. Whatever.
Mike Riley.
Thank you.
I think it was Mike Riley.
Yeah.
I wanted to say Lincoln, but I knew that one.
But it's interesting to look at these. Clay Helton's a 5. Chip Kelly's a 5. Tom Herman's a 4.
Chip Kelly one makes no sense. He's been there 2 years.
Jimbo's a 3 already.
He's
17 and 9 in 2 years.
$26 million.
I know.
Or a 26-year deal. It's all about the buyout, though.
Randy Etzel's a 5 at UConn. He's 6 and 30.
How? Just drop football.
Just wait one more year, please.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah, Clay Helton's a 5 with a 40 and 22 record in 4 years.
Yeah, they're not great. They should be better, and I think college football is better when they're really, really good.
A lot of coaches are pretty safe according to this, which they should be. Will Muschamp's a 4, 26 and 25 in 4 years. That's South Carolina.
Muschamp was such a huge coaching prospect when he was at. What was he at? Texas?
Yeah, it's huge.
And he wasn't good at Florida. Hasn't been that
Khaki
great.
Pants is 3.
I would say Harbaugh's
47 and 18 through 5 years.
That's pretty dang good.
They just can't beat OHIO. Your boy Manny Diaz, he's a 4 after 1 year, 6 and 7.
Yeah, it's not.
It's a tough job.
Though they're used to playing in front of nobody, so they might do pretty
Kirk
well.
Ferentz, 3. He's 162 and 104 in 21 years.
I wonder if he's jumped up to a 3 just because of what's happened
I
in
bet
the
you,
past
yes.
month or
Where's
two.
Jeffrey Brom? I didn't even.
I'll say Brom's a 3.
I'm going to say a 2.
Maybe a 2.
He's a 2. He was a 1 last year. Moved up to a 2. 17 and 21, 3 years.
Build a statue, fellas.
Interesting. All right.
It's nice little college football talk. We haven't been able to talk college football.
No, I just pray that we get a talk college football here. Come on, wear a mask.
Please.
Well, Kevin someone's a 4.
Scoop.
He's a 4.
He's at Arizona.
Yeah, 9 and 15 in 2 years.
Let's
Talk
see.
about a guy who keeps landing big jobs.
Give me.
Malzahn fell to a 2. He was a 3 last year. 62 and 31 through 7 years.
What? I bet the Vanderbilt coach is a 5. Has to be. Derek Mason, I think his name is.
I thought, did he not get fired?
Maybe he got fired, and I don't remember.
Oh, he's a 5.
I was gonna say
27 and 47 in 7 years. Yeah.
he was also a huge coaching prospect from the Stanford tree. It hasn't gone that great for Vanderbilt.
Dana Dimmel's a 5.
Who the heck's that?
UTEP's coach is 2 and 22 in 2 years. That's a tough job. That's one of the worst jobs.
That's one in 11 each year.
Good math, J-Man.
What about? Oh, I was gonna say, what about Willie Taggart? But he got canned.
Yeah.
There's got to be another.
Just give me one more, and then we'll move on to something else.
Herm.
Oh, at Arizona State?
Yeah.
Oh, I got to think he's pretty safe.
I would say one or two.
1. It's 15 and 11 in 2 years.
I can't think of many.
But then you look at a guy like Sam Pittman in Arkansas. Hadn't coached a game, and he's a 2. He's not even a 0 or a 1. He's a 2. That's no fair.
Hey, let's go Fitzpatrick.
What
the heck's his first name? Pat Fitzgerald.
Fitzgerald. I thought you were just calling that to be a.
No.
He's a 0. 99 and 79 through 14 years. He's a 0. Brian Kelly's a 0. He was a 1 last year. Guess Kelly's record. 10 years. He's been there 10 years.
10 years. How many games would that be? I'd assume they made a bowl each year. So that'd be at least 13 games a season because they never played a national championship.
They don't have a conference championship to play in.
Yes, so 13 be 130 games. I'm going to go 96 and 34.
Pretty close. 92 and 37. And some fans want him out.
I played 129.
Some fans want him out.
They're pretty delusional.
National championship runner-up 1 year and in the playoff another year.
Hey, check Tennessee's guy. I forget what his name is.
Oh, that doesn't help me because it's in alphabetical order. Oh no! Oh wait, no. It's Jeremy Pruitt's a 2.
Pruitt, yes.
They finished strong last year.
He did.
They beat Indiana in the bowl game.
I forgot they went to a bowl. That was a heartbreaker for the Hoosiers.
13 and 12 in 2 years.
Yeah, he could probably give him another one. You could probably give him 2 or 3.
David Shaw's a 0. 86 and 34 in 9 years.
Yeah, Stanford's not a great program.
No,
but they haven't been good. I mean, they've been okay.
It's interesting. There's some coaches at places I forgot they're even at. Mike Gundy's a 3. He was a 1 last year.
They were okay, but
15 years. He's 129 and 64. 15 years.
He's a good coach, man. Wonder what old Coach O is.
I bet he's a 0.
Gotta be a 0. Same with Nick Saban.
He's a 0. He was a 2 last year. Yeah, Saban's a 0 and was a 0 last year.
Oh, Kirby Smart. They've been to the playoff about every year, though.
Georgia?
Yeah.
0. 44 and 12 in 4 years.
But so one
Willie Taggart's a 2. He's at Florida Atlantic.
Oh, he is? What about...
kind of a fun little game here.
Dan Mullen. One more, and then we'll move on.
Dan Mullen, Florida.
He's got to be a 1.
He's a 1. 21 and 5 in 2 years. Mike Norvell is a 1 at Florida State. I thought he would be a 2.
Just because.
Because he got himself some hot water a little bit. If
did.
Sam Pittman's a 2 at Arkansas.
The difference between a Sam Pittman and a Mike Norvell, is that name Mike?
Yes.
Mike Norvell was a coach I think a lot of Florida State fans wanted, and Pittman's a coach that not many Arkansas fans knew who he was until he was hired.
Interesting
presentation.
All right, I think that's all we got this week for college football talk.
You want to talk a little NBA here? Their season's starting.
Well, before we do that, let's stick with football real quick.
Okay.
There was some big news around the NFL today. We hit on it a lot last week, but the Washington Redskins are officially no longer going to be known as the Redskins. The nickname and the logo is retired as of today, July 13th, 2020.
That was a long time coming, as we said.
Give me the Washington Red Tails. You can keep the branding. You can easily kind of keep almost kind of
same
shape
color
the logo.
Scheme.
Yep.
I have a few options here.
Keep the cursive R.
This is from sportingnews.com. Don't sue us. Washington Red Tails.
Yeah, I like it.
Washington Warriors.
We talked about that last week.
My personal favorite, the Washington Hogs.
I want pigskins.
Or the Washington Red Hogs.
Pigskins.
I like pigskins.
It's not going to happen. But
the Washington Red Hawks. Miami of Ohio actually gave that suggestion.
Okay. That's cool of them.
To them. Washington Red Wolves.
Nah, don't like that one.
Looks like Washington State's uniforms a little bit, doesn't it? I don't
They're
like
the Cougars.
That one either. Honorable mention, we have Renegades, Defenders.
It sounds like an XFL name.
The Senators, however, I did see...
the baseball team.
Well, yes, the Washington Nationals still own those rights, but the Senate has such low approval ratings that they wouldn't want to put it.
Yeah.
The Sentinels was another one. It was the fictional team from the Replacements. But here are actually the betting odds. Presidents have the number 1 odds. Then the Generals, the Lincolns, the Americans. I kind of like the Washington Americans.
Then I'd feel un-American rooting against them.
That
would make their rival, the Dallas Cowboys, mad because they're America's team.
I like it. Washington Presidents, I like that one. The Washington Kings.
No.
I hate it.
No, Sacramento's bad enough.
The Washington Memorials.
I kind of like that one.
The Washington Capitals.
It's already a hockey team.
Yes. The Washington Veterans.
No.
The Washington Jeffersons.
No.
He was a slave owner, so no. Washington Roosevelts, kind of like that.
I don't think you can do it off any single president because there's going to be people that didn't like that president no matter what, and they're going to complain.
The Washington Monuments.
That's kind of cool.
There is a Washington Monument. Washington Arlingtons. Arlington Cemetery right there.
No.
Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. You ever been to D.C.?
I have not.
I didn't think you had.
I've not been to Boston either. Those are two cities I need to get to.
Boston. Boston's awesome.
That's what I've heard from about everybody.
We traveled a far way to get to Boston.
But yeah, it's going to be interesting. I mean, they got less than 2 months to get this thing going. We'll know here in a couple weeks.
Training camp's got to start here in like a week or two, doesn't it?
Like I said, I think they got to go with something. They're gonna keep the color scheme. It would be unbelievable if they decide to change the color scheme. You do be having those designers and marketing people working around the clock right now to get that stuff done.
Yeah, I would think so as well.
I'm sure their social media team will find a really cool way to present this, though.
We'll see.
I mean, with the video package and all, I mean, all the social media teams at the professional sports are pretty darn good.
Yeah,
at what they do.
And I mean, quite the change in even 5 years.
Yep.
I mean, 5 years ago, people were still pretty good at it, but not even close to what they can do.
It's evolving every day.
As far as the NFL goes, the NFL and NFLPA still have to agree to safety protocols and all that, money things.
See
and all
the new
that.
concept for the helmet.
Oh, the face shield type deal. I did see something about that.
Interesting looking.
Interesting to see if the players say yes to it or not.
They're all going to test. Every team's going to test it out.
Most players don't really like change, which I get.
You know.
But now the difference between the NFL and the NFLPA is they have a collective bargaining agreement for like 10 years. So they have a really good relationship compared to MLB and MLPA.
Correct.
So it should go a lot smoother. You want to talk a little NBA here before we get into golf?
Sure, something we don't talk about very often.
Yes, but it's just because I saw this crawl across my Twitter screen. There's growing belief that Victor Oladipo will attempt to play in the NBA restart after saying he's going to opt out.
After making a big deal about he's going to try to play.
Maybe the public pressure, which I think is wrong, that people were
especially if he goes back and rips his knee apart.
Yeah.
Because he's coming out. Like next year's his contract year.
Maybe he's just getting the itch now.
Yeah, could be. They're going to stink without him. They're going to stink with him, too.
Yeah,
so
they probably
won't matter.
That much with him. But
they're not going to do nothing.
They're in quarantine there in the bubble. So it's nice to see some video, at least, of players shooting around.
Yeah, Russell Westbrook tested positive for COVID-19, but he's in quarantine now.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of other players are finally arriving. Some foreign players that hadn't been over yet.
Is the Nuggets guy, Nikola
just arrived.
Okay,
well,
they
he's on his way to camp. He's in the States now. As of yesterday.
That's good because even just like
getting over here is tough.
Late last week, there was some skepticism as to whether he'd actually
here
be
now.
able to.
Don't know if he's down in Orlando yet or not.
Get over here. I saw Luka Doncic is down, and he was guarding Big Boban today, 7'7".
Yep. The Denver Nuggets released a funny video on social media yesterday. They were throwing the football around, watching Bull try to catch a ball. Hilarious. Guys were hitting him in the hands. He couldn't catch it. He's huge. Can't overthrow him.
I bet that ball looks like a softball in his hands.
But he seems like a nice guy.
Oh, he seems like a great dude.
Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah. Jamal Murray can throw the ball pretty well.
Those Canadians, man.
Mike Malone thinks he can throw the ball. He told the Broncos, hey, if you need another player, I can step in and throw the rock.
Well, he could probably start right now for him.
You got jokes over here.
I'm a funny guy. I am a pretty funny.
Jokes. But we were talking before we got on the air that we think watching the NBA will be fine because we've watched the TBT quite a bit. Congratulations to Carolina and a big win last week over the Columbus Crew.
They lost, though.
Yeah, but they beat that stupid team.
Yeah, I hated that Columbus Crew team filled with players we just despised from like our heyday.
I turned it on and I just had bad flashbacks.
Aaron Kraft, David Lighty, John Diebler, Deshaun Thomas, William Buford.
Lauderdale, don't remember his
Dallas
first name.
Lauderdale. Jared Sullinger was their head coach.
Turner was their GM.
Evan Turner was their general manager.
But your boy, Dimitri McKamey, was on the team.
He was on the team, and I didn't see – I know he got some tick early, and
whenever I watch, he wasn't playing.
I know he hit 2 threes. That's all I know.
He's still in shape.
He was always kind of bigger.
Yeah,
anyway.
a little
He's kinda,
chunky.
Kind of chunky, and he's pretty chunky, but I think he's still playing.
Just think you got to watch the Fink Man in the orange and blue one more time.
It didn't take me long to start yelling at him.
Wasn't it nice to kind of watch something you cared about a little bit? I mean,
I have not yelled at the TV since early March.
Your neighbors have probably really appreciated that.
I unleashed on the officials. Aaron Kraft runs into his own player, and Illinois gets called for a foul, and he's flopping on the ground like a fish, like he always does, like he's in pain trying to get the foul call. That was his last.
I was gonna say you got to take some. You got to be pretty happy about that.
Professional basketball game. For money anyway, because he is going to be joining med school.
Nice shout out to the J-Man's Book of Prediction of the Week sponsor, Travis Watching, big Buckeye fan. So had to give him a little zing in there.
I loved watching that team lose.
Yep.
It was fun.
Yep.
But as I said, I think the NBA playing with no fans will go on without a hitch. When you were watching the game, you didn't even notice.
Not really.
That the fans weren't there because, for one, you had your bench that was going nuts. You had the commentators, so they were kind of drowning out everything anyway. So.
And unfortunately, and we talked about earlier, I think college football is going to be the hardest one to pull off.
It's going to be real tough.
Unfortunately.
I think college basketball is going to be tough, too.
Oh, that will, too.
More so than the NBA.
Yep.
But I think it's going to be weird baseball. I know they're going to pump in crowd noise. At least the Cubs have been doing that.
I'm excited to hear the sound of the ball coming off the bat and homers hitting the seats.
It sounds like an explosion.
That's going to be fun.
Yeah.
But it will be.
Have some nice sounds.
We're just, hopefully, this is the only year and season we got to get through this. We can just get through it one time, and then hopefully, hopefully in 2021, sports are back to normal. Hopefully.
Yes. Hopefully the world's back to normal.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah. Don't want to.
Yeah, so I'm ready for it too. We've been lucky enough that I don't know a single person that has actually tested positive for COVID-19. Like somebody that I knew personally.
I'm trying to think. I don't think
I've known anybody. A few people that have gotten tested.
Yes. Yeah. I think I'm right there with you.
So we've been lucky. We've been the lucky ones.
Sure.
Transitioning to golf.
Golf had a heck of a golf tournament this past week. It was the kind of the makeshift tournament, the Workday Charity Open, which was supposed to be the John Deere Classic, but then the state of Illinois said we're not doing it. So Jack Nicklaus said, they can come to my course. We'll play back-to-back weeks. We're just going to set it up a little easier for the Workday than we do for the Memorial. A lot of the guys that are going to be playing the Memorial, which I'll talk about in a bit, we're like, we'll play another week early just to get some practice. So he had a pretty good field. Interesting few names in contention over the weekend. He had Colin Morikawa, who's a young stud in the game of golf. He had a 3-stroke lead going into Saturday, which was tied for the largest lead after 36 holes on the PGA Tour this year. But then come Sunday, he found himself a couple shots back, 3 strokes back, I believe, by Justin Thomas, who had a lead over Morikawa and Victor Hovland, another young guy from Oklahoma State. Absolute golf powerhouse there. But then Justin Thomas got off to a bad start and found himself 2 strokes back. But then he comes back. Hovland and Morikawa fall a little bit. Justin Thomas got a 3-stroke lead with 3 holes to play. Chokes it away. Morikawa forces a playoff. So they go play hole 18. Both guys hit terrible tee shots. And then they both get on the green. Justin Thomas is 50 feet, 55 feet, I think it was, away. Holds it from birdie and just screams. Makes the biggest yell of any golfer this year because there's no crowd. And I just imagined if there was a crowd during that putt, holy cow. So then I'm like, Morikawa gave it a good run. He's got a 25-footer, drills it. Like, he's got some stones on him.
Ice in his veins.
I mean, in the putt was teetering back, forth, left, right, barely curled in the left side of the hole.
I wonder if not having fans during a moment like that helps them kind of focus a little more.
Good.
Because you don't feel as much tension from everyone else.
That was the first moment, though, through these fanless golf tournaments. I really, really wish we had fans because on both those putts, they would have went nuts. So They played hole 18 again. Both parred. I believe Justin Thomas missed a putt for the win. Then they went to hole 10. Justin Thomas blocks a tee shot, gets behind one skinny tree, dead behind it to where he couldn't really do anything. Morikawa pounds a drive, gets his on the green. Justin Thomas had a pitch out. Then he puts his third further away than Morikawa already was. Justin Thomas misses All Morikawa has to do from 9 feet to 2-putt, just cozies it up there, taps it in for his second career win. But he's young. I mean, the dude
23 years old.
is young.
Born in 1997. Makes me feel old.
We were in kindergarten. But Collin Morikawa became just the second player since 1996 to pick up his second win before his second missed cut, joining Tiger Woods. Tiger won 43 times before his second missed cut.
That's
43
insane.
times.
That's just stupid.
Most of the Tiger stats in his prime are just stupid.
That's my least favorite stat you've shared on this podcast.
I read it yesterday. This morning, I had to screenshot that. I can't believe what I just read.
That's insane. 43 times before missing hit. What?
Before missing his second cut. He won 43 times.
I think he said Morikawa tied Tiger Woods for most consecutive cuts to start a career.
Yes, and it was like 26, I want to say, or something.
Something like that. And then he won 43 times before missing another cut.
I don't know if Mickelson has the most wins on tour right now of anybody besides Tiger, and he's right around 43, I want to say. I'm going to look it up. I mean, and he did it before he missed a second cut. The dude just, sometimes I don't know if he's human. Especially when he's in his prime. Phil's won 44 events in his career. Tiger won 43 before he missed a second cut.
Oh, man. I don't think we'll ever see anything remotely like that.
Not like
ever.
We did when he was in his prime. And speaking of Eldrick Tiger Woods, he makes his return. First tournament back for him.
Be a little rusty, I bet.
Since the PGA Tour went on break. He's in a featured group this week with J-Man's boy, Rory McIlroy, and Brooks Koepka. He also has Phil Mickelson.
That's a heck of a group.
Yeah, these are some power groups here.
A lot of majors won there.
Yeah, this field just stupid stacked. This is like a major field. This is one of the bigger non-major tournaments every year. Jack Nicklaus does a really good job running it. You got Phil Mickelson, Justin Rose, and Shane Lowry together. You have Bryson DeChambeau, Collin Morikawa, Patrick Cantlay, Justin Thomas, Xander Schauffele, and Dustin Johnson are just some of the featured groups. The power rankings via PGAtour.com. At 15, you got Hideki Matsuyama. At 14, you got Tiger Woods. He's won this tournament 5 times. You got Jon Rahm at 13. Kevin Streelman at 12. He had a good week. He tied for 7th this past week. Gary Woodland is 11. Xander Schauffele at 10. Ian Poulter, good week this past week. He tied for 5th. He is 9th. Rory McIlroy.
This will be the J-Man's Bucket prediction of the week. Rory McIlroy will go in there. Where is that, Columbus?
Yes.
To the Memorial?
Yes.
Tournament and win.
He has 4 top 10s and a tie for 15th and 8 trips at the Memorial.
Bucket! The J-Man's Bucket prediction of the week brought to you by Indiana Farm Bureau insurance agent Travis Watching for life, home, auto, renters, business, workers' comp, and farm. Contact Travis at 219-869-4561. You can also email him at travis.watching@infb.com.
Victor Hovland is at 7. The rookie is among the 22 in the field
or if he goes by Hove.
Maybe. I don't know. You want to ask him.
Sure.
He's among the 22 in the field who's yet to rest since the restart, and he's the only one to go 5 for 5, all for top 25s. No one has scored better tee to green in the last 3 tournaments.
I bet he's made some coin here the past 5 weeks.
Webb Simpson, he has 2 wins, 3 seconds, and a third in the last 12 months. He comes at number 6. Patrick Cantlay, number 5. Dustin Johnson at number 4. 2 weeks off after winning the Travelers. You got Justin Thomas, who lost in the playoff, at number 3. Last week's winner, Collin Morikawa, at number 2. So you're thinking, who the heck's going to be number 1? Well, who haven't I mentioned yet that we've talked about a bunch?
I bet it's Bryson DeChambeau.
It is Mr. Muscle, Bryson DeChambeau himself. His last few tournaments tied for 5th, 2nd, 4th, tied for 3rd, tied for 8th, tied for 6th, and a win. And he's won here before in 2018.
You picking him?
Well, some other names that aren't on this list: Justin Rose, Brooks Koepka, Ricky Fowler, Jason Day, and Jordan Spieth.
Didn't Justin Rose just shoot 10 over?
Yeah, he did not make the cut. He's a former winner here. I'm going Victor Hovland. Give me the rook.
H to the OB.
I'll be wrong, but give me the Rook. Give me the former Oklahoma State Cowboy.
I just Googled Victor Hovland's net worth, and it said $740 million, and I know that's not right.
No, not even close.
He's made some coin here the past 5 weeks.
Yes, he has for sure. So looking forward to another fun golf event. The PGA Tour did announce yesterday that the rest of its events, which is the PGA Championship and the playoffs, etc., are not going to have any fans. The only two tournaments that still possibly could are the U.S. Open because it's run by the USGA and not the PGA Tour, and the Masters because the Masters is run by its own committee, not the PGA Tour. So doubt we'll see fans of either one. I would be more hopeful for the Masters in November than the U.S. Open, which is, I believe, in September. And the U.S. Open's in New York. So
yes.
And the Masters course in Georgia, November.
Talk a little baseball here for a second.
Please. We got some time.
Our good buddy Andrew Eiler keeps sending us messages about the Reds.
It's not going to be my good buddy if he keeps it up any longer.
The Reds
Just
live
joking,
scrimmage, and I can't emphasize this enough. I don't care. So when you listen to this, knock it off.
Minute mark 50, 59.
I love you, Andrew. But baseball is just a week and a half away.
Yep.
Starting Thursday night, July 23rd with the Nationals and Yankees. It seems like the positive tests have kind of calmed down, which is what they were hoping for after the first kind of very, very small wave where only, I think, 1.2% of tests came back positive. Cubs are still the only team that have not had a positive test.
Pretty incredible.
They're taking it very, very seriously, as should every single.
I was gonna say, I bet every team's taking it very seriously, but
very, very seriously. And it's up to the players if they want to have a season. They can't go out and do a whole lot in their free time. They have to quarantine and stay in.
Like the TBT, man, they were as strict as you can be. The rules.
It's going to be really tough to kind of rein in the players. I'm sure the players are taking it very seriously. We've had a few big names.
Well, the guys who don't want to play aren't playing. They're opting out. So
David Price, I think we talked about last week. He's a former Cy Young Award winner. I had a book it a few weeks ago that a MVP would opt out, and we did have one in a former MVP.
Yes.
In Buster Posey. His wife adopted, or he and his wife adopted, I think, twin girls.
That's what you said the other day. So
that are 6 months old, so it's smart for him to opt out. And I think we're just going to see more and more players. I know Darvish said today that he was thinking about opting out, but when he saw how serious the Cubs and his teammates were taking it, he's looking forward to the season. And it's still not 100% that he doesn't opt out because something could happen and wreck the whole thing. But as of now, I'm looking forward to a baseball season. I feel better about it right now than I did a week or two ago. Of course, we're getting closer.
Yep.
And teams should be starting to play their 3 exhibition games starting the weekend. I think Cubs start Sunday against the White Sox. So it'll be nice to get some baseball. Once again, it's going to be really, really weird. You'll see some players play that you normally wouldn't see. You'll see some players not play that you normally would want to see. And it's just going to be strange, and this season will always kind of be looked at as maybe not a sham. Because, I mean, if they're giving out a trophy, the guys want to win it regardless.
Oh, yeah, they're competitors at the end of the day.
And that's what all the players are saying. But it just feels like there's going to be an asterisk next to this season regardless.
Every sport, really.
Of every sport, sure. But especially baseball when they're playing a third of their games.
I was going to say maybe not golf because really they're going to have close to a full season. Not quite, but and they get the playoffs and the majors, so it's up to British Open. But.
College football without their 3. Actually, I think this will make the season more compelling than watching an Alabama play a Mercer.
Well, we still don't know if the SEC's going to do that. I would think every conference could follow suit, but
I can't imagine they don't.
They would look pretty bad, I would think.
Honestly, I don't know if the NCAA can even step in and say this is what we're going to do or not. I'm sure they have the authority to do it, but I assume they would end up just canceling all non-conference games in every fall sport. So
it's probably the right move.
Yep, absolutely. We have about 5 minutes left. You want to hear the Birdie Bogey real quick?
Sure.
Real quick. We got 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So as I said last week, we before we go, Before I get to that, I forgot J-Lo and Alex Rodriguez are putting together an investment group to bid to buy the Mets.
I just puked in my mouth.
Some of these on the list: Travis Kelce, Super Bowl champion tight end Travis Kelce.
Nice, second least fair player in the league.
NFL running back DeMarco Murray.
Random.
NBA All-Star Bradley Beal.
Really random. Sharpshooter.
Well. And Hall of Fame linebacker Brian Urlacher.
Mentioned him earlier with the hair plugs.
Would be kind of.
I think it's destiny, J-Man.
So, I think it is too. I was thinking today.
I'm just messing with you, dude.
I'm gonna have to get like a shampoo that grows my hair. But I'm so bald right now that you might as well just embrace it.
Yeah, or you could go to Kevin Malone, get a wig. I wasn't talking about the Kleenex box shoes.
Not Ashton Kutcher.
Yep.
Equally handsome, equally smart. I could just go with the old Red Foreman look.
Yep.
That's classic.
You do have some Red Foreman in you.
Yeah, love Red Foreman. Anyway, getting back to our birdie bogey. Jacob deGrom could become the third ever pitcher to win 3 consecutive Cy Young Awards. Who were the other 2 to do this?
Justin Verlander? Nope. We're on right away. Awesome. Awesome.
These guys are no longer playing.
Okay. Still awesome.
So I'll give you another guess, and if you get both of them, I'll give you a par.
Pedro?
No. So you're getting a...
Randy Johnson?
Randy?
Kurt Schilling?
No.
Roger Clemens?
No.
Nolan Ryan?
Nope.
I can't even think of guys who used to play. Back-to-back Cy Youngs.
3 straight Cy Young.
3 straight Cy Youngs. Randy. Who else pitched for a while and was really good?
It's going to make you really mad when I tell you.
I'm sure it will because I am just blanking.
Either way, it was a pathetic display.
Do you expect anything different when it comes to me and MLB trivia? I am the worst.
A lot better than me.
Yes, I have.
The past couple weeks.
I have.
So.
I really can't think of anybody right now. Just give it to me.
Gregory Maddox.
Ha! Forgot. Him and Glavine and Smoltz, the dominant team in the 90s, didn't even come across my brain.
Don't leave out Steve Avery. He was on that pitching staff, too.
Kevin Millwood towards the end.
I forgot about Kevin Millwood.
Mike Hampton.
Name from the past.
But the Braves are keeping their name, but they're not sure about the tomahawk chop.
They've needed to get rid of that tomahawk
Chiefs
chop
too.
forever.
Chiefs too.
Chiefs,
get it out.
Florida State
out.
Seminoles.
All of y'all.
Haven't heard really another word about the
Indians.
Cleveland Indians changing theirs.
Cleveland Rocks.
I like the Cleveland
I do
Rocks.
like it too.
It's probably too close to the Rockies.
Yeah, probably because they go by the Rocks as a nickname.
Yeah, but it's Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yep.
Nah.
Why don't you wrap us up there, J-Man?
Thanks for watching the Tan and J-Man Show. We'd like to thank our sponsors, Noble Gnome LLC, Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance Agent Travis Watching, The Dam Landing, and Performer Print House. Thanks for watching. As I said, live on the ISC Sports Network.
Give us a rating.
Give us a rating.
Apple Podcast, please. Helps us out.
We're on TuneIn Radio.
We get to 50 ratings.
Walter
we'll do
Block,
a giveaway.
Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio. Mask up, everybody, so
we don't have to take a hiatus.
We don't have to go on hiatus.
You'll miss our beautiful faces and our beautiful voices.
My just voluptuous beard.
Yeah, that too.
We'll see you next Monday with our Major League Baseball preview show.
I better study up.
Can't wait. See you next week.
Have a great week, everybody.